friends, and welcome back to the Willie Good Life. I'm Jennifer Willie, and today we're going to be making a carnivore crustless quiche. And I got this recipe from the Carnivore Doctor. If you want to go to her page, I have her link below in the description window or box. And she also has a video on how to make this. I've kind of tweaked it a little bit to my liking, but I've already pre-measured everything, and I'm just gonna put everything together and kind of show you how I do it, and show you the different ingredients I use. And pretty much every time I make this, it's like awesome every time. Most people love it, and it's also another reason why I'm doing this video, because a lot of people ask for the recipe. And so let's get going. I did go ahead and I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. It says 40 minutes, but it's going to depend on your oven. It takes mine exactly like 1 hour to cook it to completion. So just kind of the first time you do it, you know, just kind of keep an eye on it. Not to mention the different ingredients you use. That's going to vary on how long also. Okay, so I'm going to just sort of show you my ingredients here, and then we'll combine everything. Okay, so this is sort of my workstation. I've got everything measured out here. This is the bacon that I've cut up. Now, I did cook 3 pounds of bacon in my air fryer. Save my bacon grease to cook with later with other things. That's what one of the oils that I like to use to cook with, along with beef tallow and duck fat. Those are also really good. Also, I just stay away from seed oils, FYI. But anyways, I cooked this entire package, this 3-pound pack. I'd say like a quarter of this I used when I did my pinwheels. I put a little bit of bacon in there, but 3/4 of this pretty much is chopped up in here, aside from the pieces I ate and that my husband ate. So, but pretty much that's the way to go. I cooked it up. I chopped it up. Let me see if I can show you this package here. So this, I never pronounce this right, but charcuterie boar's head meat. You've got like a little variety in here, and that's what I use to make my crust with. Actually, Costco has a pack, has like a double pack that you can get, and it's a better bang for your buck, and to me it's actually a cleaner product than this is. But you've got like I'm not gonna pronounce this right, guys. Sweet capocollo, sweet sopressata, and genoise salami. So you get like a little variety here. And then your macros, you know, this one shows 0 carbohydrates. But like any of these kind of meats, you're gonna have like a small amount. This has turbinado sugar in it for the, I guess, the curing process or whatnot. But anyways, this is a good second best, in other words. Now, sometimes the Costco one I get, I'll use that whole pack, and there's a lot of meat in the one pack. And you can make your crust as meaty as you want, or as thin as you want. It is up to you. But just to kind of show you, this is a ceramic round dish that I have here. And I'll list all the sizes and the ingredients and the measurements below in the description box, so you have all that information and the link to the Carnivore Doctor's page, so you can access it that way too. But you can see how I kind of lined the pan with the meats. And like I said, you can really bulk it up and really get it meaty if you want to. But you literally just kind of make a crust out of this. Okay. So in her recipe, I believe she calls for like 10 eggs or something like that. But I went ahead and I go ahead and do a dozen. And I use this Nellie's brand to go in for my mixture here. They are already cracked. Okay, you're gonna whisk all your eggs. Just gotta whisk and whisk away. Okay, like I said, my oven is preheated. So do 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream, which is what's in here. It's about 1.5 cups. I'm just gonna go ahead and get that in there. Sink. And then you just go ahead and whisk that in. la 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 la. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, once you get that in, I went ahead and put my spices all in this one thing. Basically, this is 2 tablespoons of dehydrated onion bits, 1 teaspoon of pepper. Now, if you're concerned about oxalates or anything like that, you can leave the pepper out. And if you don't want to do a lot of seasonings, a lot of carnivore people don't use a lot of seasoning or any at all, just salt usually. You can leave the seasoning out, and quite frankly, the meat and the cheese that I put in here and the meats lining this will season the eggs. It'll be plenty flavorful if you want to, eliminate the seasoning part, so don't be concerned about that. And then it calls for salt in her recipe, and I found it made it too salty because of the meats that I was using, so I don't use salt at all. You do not need it. It's up to you, but I don't need it. 1 teaspoon of mustard powder, and it's like 1 tablespoon dried parsley, and I did put a tablespoon of the Italian mix. I feel weird not with my face not in it. Like, that's all in there. And you just put that in. And then you whisk. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Whisk, whisk, and then you whisk a little more. Okay. Those are the seasoning, that's the egg. Now, cheese. Everybody's favorite part. Now, it calls for 1 cup of each of these cheeses. There's 2 different cheeses in here. I measure it, so I don't really get too stressed if it's more than 1 cup, in other words. Up to you how you want to do that. Now, cheese is key to me. I've tried other Swisses. I've tried other Swiss cheese, and it just doesn't compare. And the Gouda, I love this. I get this from Costco. It's freaking awesome. I wasn't even looking at the camera, was I? That's what I get for putting it on selfie mode. Anyway, so this Gouda cheese is awesome. Find it at Costco. It's freaking ginormous. So, I mean, practically could get about maybe 3. If you're doing 3, you could get 3 quiches out of this. It's huge. Freaking huge. Now, I've tried smoked Gouda before, and that's actually really good too. Now, the Swiss, I have yet to find a Swiss as good as this. Anyways. It's moist, has amazing flavor, it smells amazing, but this is thebomb.com. I can only find it at Publix. I can even get it on Amazon, for Pete's sake. But if you can get this, use this Swiss cheese. It is so good. And if you're like any of us in the keto carnivore community, you love your cheese. So, anywho, I shredded approximately 1 cup of each. Boom. So I just splatter it everywhere. I'm just gonna dump this in. Okay, get that out of the way. Okay. And generally, this literally fills this pie pan or dish perfectly. You can, and once I get this poured in here, you can put more meat on top if you want. I've done that, and I think it's really good. But you don't have to do that. Because you can see there's a lot in this thing. Okay, so now for the bacon, and I just chopped that up, put that sucker in there. There we go. Bacon, anybody? And we're gonna, I feel like I'm like, we're gonna mix this in wonderfully. Just get it all churned up. Okay, I'm not like, it's a little hard to like do it like this, so that's why I look a little strange doing this. Okay. Bring your pie crust, your meaty pie crust over. Tap this out. Now, when I pour this in, to free that, what I do, and I think it makes a difference, quite frankly, is I pour it in the middle and let it go out. So pour it in the middle and let it spread. Okay? And once you get most of it in there, hold it with one hand, and you can just rake the rest in. You do not want to lose any of this goodness. And as you can see, it literally fills this thing perfectly. Literally. I'm just trying to make sure it's kind of somewhat evenly distributed here with the meat, so it doesn't get all clumped in one spot. I mean, there's enough meat in here, trust me, it's gonna be fine. All right, so get that out of the way. All right, so now, like I said, I just set my timer literally for 1 hour. I'm gonna tilt this up, there we go. So I just do it for like 1 hour. That's what it looks like prior to. And it generally cooks it perfectly every time. I'm gonna get better at this camera stuff. I'm not, still learning. But anyways. And then what I do, once it comes out, I let it cool before I put it in the refrigerator. After it's cooled, I cover it, I put it in the refrigerator, let that sit overnight, let the flavors marry, and the next day it's fabulous. I mean, you warm it up and it's just like, it's awesome. All right, guys, tell me what you think about the recipe, any suggestions, ideas. I'm definitely open to it, and I hope you have a great evening. Enjoy your quiche. Bye-bye. And here it is when it's out. It should look something like this. So we'll just let that cool, and then after it's nice and cool, we'll cover it up, put it in the fridge, and let it continue to sort of season itself.